Good morning, this is your TTT News Update at 6. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. The TNT Spirit is currently undergoing a comprehensive technical assessment at the Port of Port-of-Spain to evaluate its operational condition and ensure compliance with all relevant safety and performance standards. A release from the Port Authority on Monday noted that the vessel experienced mechanical difficulties after debris was drawn into the engines during its voyage to the Port of Scarborough on Sunday. As a precautionary measure, the TNT Spirit was withdrawn from service and returned to Port of Spain that evening. The release added that contingency arrangements have been put in place to support the inter-island ferry operations and to accommodate affected passengers. In light of a recent series of accidents involving vessels used for inter-island transport, Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Falia Gustin, assured the public that the THA, in collaboration with the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure and other stakeholders, is actively working to resolve the issues in the shortest possible time. In a social media post, the Chief Secretary acknowledged the incidents involving the newly acquired MV Blue Wave Harmony and the TNT Spirit at the Port of Scarborough, along with the frustration and concerns of citizens who rely on the inter-island ferries.
NITCO's technical teams are working around the clock to assess the impact and to ensure our sea bridge remains reliable. One of the most disappointing consequences of these logistical hurdles is a challenge to hosting the medium band finals in Tobago. So discussions are well underway between Trinidad, NITCO, the port, and so forth. And I'm sure you will hear from Trinidad soon.
Mr. Gustin also highlighted the economic impact on citizens and appealed for patience as the issues are being addressed.
I am therefore asking for your grace and your patience as we in the THA continue to push and push and push and work along with the Ministry of Works in Trinidad and Minister John, who has been very kind to us, to get these repairs done expeditiously so we can return to normalcy.
With the 2026 National Panorama Finals medium bands expected to be hosted in Tobago on February 8th, the Chief Secretary assured that the relevant agencies will provide updates following full assessments. In some sport news now, the Trinidad and Tobago Automobile Sports Association President Ashton Eligon commended all drivers in the fraternity for their commitment and sacrifice to the sport while speaking at the 2025 T-TASA Awards at the Ohana Restaurant in Chaguanas. Eligon also shared his excitement ahead of the Nations Cup karting event, which will see the regional tournament hosted in TNT for the first time this August.
As we look forward to this year, from the CDRC Championship Finals to be held in Jamaica sometime this year to the Nations Cup in August 2026, this is a great opportunity hosting this event, one that saw Trinidad winning in Barbados last year. And we're confident that we will win again in home soil.
In some international news now, record-breaking snowfall across Japan has been blamed for at least 30 deaths over the past 2 weeks, officials said, including a 91-year-old woman who was found buried beneath nearly 300 centimeters of snow outside her home. The severe weather has prompted the government of Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi to deploy troops to assist affected communities, according to reports from national broadcaster NHK. Authorities told people to watch for avalanches and accumulated snow falling from rooftops, NHK reported, and also warned that power outages are possible in the hardest hit areas. As of Tuesday, the northern city of Aomori had 175 centimeters of snow accumulated on the ground, more than double the average for this time of the last year, according to NHK. On Monday, the city recorded as much as 183 centimeters of snow accumulating in some areas, breaking the 40-year record of 181 centimeters observed in 1986. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Kari. How are you today?
I am doing good so far. You know, I'm taking your advice and, you know, drinking that water in the morning before the coffee.
And it's working?
It is working like a charm. I'm surprised.
I told you that. Carrie, have you ever participated in a spelling bee competition?
I have not participated in a spelling bee competition. I am a stickler for spelling, though.
Okay.
Although a little birdie told me that you have.
Yeah, I used to be a spelling bee champion. Would you believe that?
All right.
Spell breakfast
I
for
would.
me.
I would believe it.
Spell the word breakfast.
Breakfast. Oh, that's an easy one. Greasy.
Pies, right? It's always greasy pies.
Greasy
Well,
pies.
coming up inside the show today, we're talking about an upcoming spelling bee competition. So it may not be
nice.
too late for you, Carrie. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Also, we sit down with Minister Khadija Amin, and of course, we start your morning with the truth right here on Trinidad and Tobago today.
All right, looking forward to it. You know, and let me get up to speed on my spelling.
I think you should.
Thank you so much, Virmala.
You're welcome, Carrie.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this break.
Tuesday, 3rd February 2026. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today. Well, let's take a look at what's trending this morning. A High Court judge has ordered the state to pay $100,000 to a man who was wrongly arrested and prosecuted. Now, Justice Frank C. Prasad strongly criticized the police, saying that public trust in the TTPS, well, it is dangerously low. He also called for mandatory body cameras for officers and encouraged citizens to use their phones and CCTV to record police encounters until that happens. Well, the man, his name Elton King, received $75,000 in damages and an extra $25,000 in aggravated damages. Now, the judge described the situation as disturbing and deplorable, especially at a time when the country is already struggling with crime. Well, now let's move a little bit to the economy. Analysts are saying regional corporations need to start raising some of their own money instead of depending completely on central government. While economists are arguing that while $2.1 billion has been allocated to local government, efficiency is still a major problem. So they're saying that regional corporations affect everyday life, things like roads, drains, garbage collection, even recreation grounds. So they must improve productivity. While some experts agree that corporations should earn part of their income locally, but they warn us that this won't happen overnight, of course, especially with citizens already feeling financial pressure. Government officials are insisting they won't provide extra funding unless there's clear improvement in services, with claims that many workers sign in and leave early, contributing to low productivity. And that's something we're going to address this morning. And finally, in some Pan news, thousands of Pan lovers packed the Queen's Park Savannah for the Panorama semi-finals. And the competition, well, it was really, really tight. In the medium band category, Pan Elder Steel Orchestra led with 280 80 points. In the large band category, we had BP Renegades taking first place with 283.5 points, followed closely by Exodus and Silver Stars. Medium band finals will be held on February 8th in Tobago, while large bands will clash on February 14th, Valentine's Day, at the Savannah, setting the stage for an exciting Carnival showdown. Well, coming up inside our show today, Minister Khadija Amin joins us to talk about regional cooperations inside our first hour, and then Shamla Maharaj comes up with Redefining Normal, only on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Next 99's one big bad virtual fair.
No trouble again. Now we back out on the road. Can we do put on me?
Soca music is a symbol of love and togetherness, a symbol of freedom to be who we are, whenever, however.
Now listen, this is your boy Carlos Edwards, and as a former player, let me tell you, it's the fans, man. The fans that made the game, that's the 12th man right there. And when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, there's only one 12th man you need to know. My guy, Andre Errol Baptiste on TTT, is bringing the heat every Tuesday.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, a man had a hammer, used to follow him to run. He used to use it to pong a pan, but sometimes a stupid man, all in Savannah, never miss an aroma.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival, TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimash Gras. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
13 minutes after 6 o'clock. Hope you're having a beautiful morning. Whatever you are doing, wherever you're heading, please be safe on the nation's roads. Of course, traffic is always building really, really early, so we hope that you are also moving very early. Well, just as we promised, we've got someone special in studio with us today. Government says funding for regional corporations is designed to improve sanitation, infrastructure, and service delivery while strengthening oversight and efficiency across local government. Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadija Amin, has indicated that allocations are sufficient once resources are properly managed, and that investigations into any mismanagement are ongoing as part of government's wider reform agenda. Now, at the same time, economists have suggested that regional corporations should become more efficient and gradually explore ways to generate their own revenue, reducing long-term dependence on central government. We chat now with Minister Amin about implementation of course saver standards and what residents can expect in the months ahead, especially with Carnival right around the corner. Good morning, Mr. Amin.
Good morning, and it's such a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you for being here. I know it's early. It's always really, really early to get dressed and be here.
I am an early starter, so I just had to add on 2 hours. Today is an office day. Constituency office day is very important to me, so I'm seeing constituents today.
Okay, well, we appreciate the time that you're taking to be with us, especially with Carnival right around the corner. We know that there's so many things that the ministry is working on, especially to ensure the upkeep of not just Port of Spain, but the country going for after Carnival, the days after Carnival and forward. So the National Program for the Upkeep of Public Spaces, am I saying that correctly?
That's correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that this morning.
Cabinet approved a pilot project for the upkeep of public spaces where employees are hired by the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government and assigned to regional corporations. Now, when we disbanded URP because of the corruption, the government created an unemployment fund in the Ministry of Finance. So Cabinet agreed that we will draw down on that money because this project creates employment. It adds to the capacity of the regional corporations to maintain public spaces, which may have been done by other entities before. Corporations have a legal responsibility when it comes to public spaces and public facilities like recreation grounds and so on. So our pilot started on the 15th of December and it goes through till the 15th of March. We have added a Carnival edition where we have from the 2nd of February, which was yesterday, over 1,000 workers assigned to regional corporations based on the hosting of Carnival events that are with NCC. So, you know, in Port of Spain, you have all this Carnival activity, San Fernando, Chaguanas, but you also have regional Carnival. And every region, every one of our 14 municipalities have regional carnivals within their communities. And so we have aligned the ministry's structure to clean and clear spaces utilized for Carnival with the NCC's program. But we have gone further because, you know, for Carnival, we have so much activities, but not all of it is necessarily masquerader related. So, for instance, a lot of families and religious organizations go to camp. Right. They go on the beaches. So, areas like Toko, Matlat, Balandra. Of course, you have in Moruga, in Clifton Hill, in Point Fortin, you have the beaches along the Mayaro stretch. You also have the North Coast, La Fillette, Tyrico, and so on, where you have a lot of beachgoers. So it's for Ash Wednesday, of course, the cool down. But during the Carnival weekend, a lot of families camp. So I met with every single corporation. We went through their plan. In fact, some of them, when they asked for certain resources, based on my knowledge of the type of activities they had, we increased the number of employees that they requested to accommodate, for instance, the camping that they didn't take into consideration or other activities they were not aware of. So I met with every single corporation and we put those things in place. And their workers have now been assigned to the corporation for them to administrate and manage. And we have 18 coordinators. Why 18? Because NCC has 18 regional Carnival coordinators. So we are working alongside them to ensure that the services, and particularly in rural areas, this is important, but in our capital city as well. So we will be working with all the stakeholders. You have NCC, you Ministry of Culture, you have the Port of Spain Corporation, but you have other stakeholders who are part of hosting the events, organizing the events. But you also have, you know, the private events. You might have a bar having some big bram, or, you know, so we have those things that are not necessarily on NCC schedule that the regional corporations will help cater for.
Yeah, you know, the day after Carnival, Monday or Tuesday, Ash Wednesday morning is so much garbage, you know, just a lot happening. And hopefully, you know, this year, as we've seen in the past, that can be remedied and we won't have to deal with that problem.
Oh, certainly. But I can tell you, most regional corporations have the managerial capacity to deal with what happens at Carnival. They are aware of it. Our public health officers and our CEOs, they are accustomed doing a schedule to accommodate Carnival. What we have seen over the past few years is a sort of decline in productivity that has now become a topic nationally. The productivity of corporation workers. Corporations workers are notorious for, I remember there was a retired CEO who once said that corporation workers come to work for 6:30 and leave at 6.
Yes. Actually, the Prime Minister recently said that some workers come, they sign in and then they leave.
Yes. So the thing is, while over the time, of course, the union has spoken about the fact that they don't have toilet facilities, for instance, on the job. The fact is that we really could get more productivity out of our regional corporation, our employees. We'll work with the union to ensure that we get to a better place where that is concerned. In the meanwhile, though, I know that corporations have had to manage with spaces that were not originally theirs. So, for instance, with the closure of Carnival in 1975 Limited, a lot of recreation spaces and roads and drains have now fallen to the corporation
It's an
to
added
maintain.
pressure and responsibility.
It does. You have the shutdown of Petrotrin have impacted those in the south, in Point Fortin, in Penal Debe, in Siparia Corporation. So they do have additional responsibilities. But we cannot just say, give more money according to how you feel. The Prime Minister have spoken about value for money. And the disparity in funding and the disparity in population has long been a topic of discussion among local government practitioners. But you know, when you see claims, people are trying to make it political. We have put systems in place to do a proper assessment of the corporation's assets, to determine what their manpower requirement will be, so that money could be allocated based on that, based on data, not just on who you feel should get more money.
Yeah. So, Minister, that actually leads me to my next question. Which areas are currently receiving priority funding right now? Sanitation, drainage, road repairs. What's your priority with the ministry right now in ensuring that money is spent, especially on certain services?
Well, one of the things we are doing is managing debt from the previous administration. So when I came in, there were a number of development projects that were completed that contractors were not paid. And this really was because of, interfering in the system, where originally a corporation gets an allocation in the budget. They apply for funding, they get the approval, they proceed with their contract and their contractor, they receive money to pay that contractor, and when the work is done, they pay the man and he go his way.
Yeah.
Under the previous administration, they stopped doing that. They asked for the work to be completed before they could give the corporation the money. And what that led to is at the end of the financial year, even if the work is 95% complete, the money goes back. So the corporations were left in debt. So we are in the process of fixing that. So any unspent balances in the corporations, we have asked them to prioritize paying their bills, pay your debts first. Of course, they each have their allocation for 2026. Of course, there's also still some discussions about who gets more money, UNC or PNM corporations. In the current budget, the 2026 budget, the PNM corporations received a total of $987 million. And that is still 181 million more than what the UNC corporations received. So to say that UNC corporations got more money is totally misleading. What you also have in terms of manpower, there are a total of 13,400 employees in the corporation, and the concern is by 9 a.m. everybody going home. You know, we really should get more productivity. So far on the public spaces pilot project, we have had workers, we are getting more productivity, but we must ensure that the program is sustainable. So I'll be working with all our stakeholders to ensure that that happens.
Thanks, Minister. Now, economists have suggested that regional corporations should eventually generate some of their own income, their own revenue. What do you have to say about that?
Corporations presently have the power to generate their own revenue, you know. In fact, you know that when you go to bury a relative, you pay a fee to use the cemetery, to use the cremation site. They have markets under them that falls under their purview. They do have the power to utilize some of their space for advertising, for instance, creation of billboards. In each corporation, there is something called a LED unit, Local Economic Development Unit. When I became minister, I created an LED unit at the headquarters to coordinate the 14 LED units in the corporation, because our ministry is a coordinated ministry. We should not be doing things because corporations are supposed to be autonomous bodies, but we coordinate. So we will be working with them to ensure that they put a little more effort into local economic development that stimulates the local economy, gives space for small and micro entrepreneurs, but also brings revenue to the corporation.
Yeah, Minister, I want to touch on something that was talked about recently, mechanization and outsourcing where necessary. How do these fit into your plan to modernize the ministry?
Well, one certain area that I can tell you about is when it comes to our vehicles and fleet management. In all government ministries, I think it's really less than ideal. But in the 14 municipal corporations, it's something that they have grappled with for years. A piece of equipment that should last 20 years, excavator and so on, sometimes it's down within 5-6 years because of poor fleet management, poor maintenance. And that is something that we have an interministerial committee looking at. In that committee, you have Ministry of Works, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Public Utilities, and the Ministry of Transport. So you would recall very early in our term, the Minister of Transport spearheaded an exercise with VEMCOT where you had several police vehicles out of service. They quickly analyzed the needs and were able to put about 45 of those vehicles back on the road in a short space of time with the Prime Minister's direction. So I think Minister Eli Zakur has been doing a tremendous job alongside VEMCOT. And so, based on the work of the Interministerial Committee, that is an area in local government that I would like to see a little more efficiency in their management when it comes to their vehicles, their equipment. You have you have transport yards that are in really deplorable states, really deplorable conditions, but we have to fix it.
Minister, sometimes there is a stigma attached to regional corporations, especially, you know, echoing what the Prime Minister said about sign in and leave early. Is there anything being done right now to rebuild the public confidence in the regional corporation and its workers?
To rebuild that public trust, the workers have to do their work. They have to be more productive. So this is not a PR exercise. This has happened over years. It is not that somebody said that they were not productive. This is a fact that people know. People are aware. They see workers come, they see when they leave. So people are familiar. It's not something that anybody is making up. So to prove themselves, regional corporations will have to become more productive. There is a system to measure tasks, to measure how much work is done. And therefore, it must be reflected in that progress report. Yeah.
So I want to shift gears just a little bit and talk about your dry season awareness campaign that's coming up. That's really important going forward for this year. So tell us about that.
Oh yes, from early January, our disaster management unit at the headquarters teamed up with the 14 municipal corporations disaster units. They have been erecting signs alerting the public about the dangers of bushfires and so on. But they have gone further because under our disaster management, we train volunteers in every community across the country. And recently, we graduated 300 community emergency response teams from every region. And they are so excited. They have started in Bamboo number 2, where the group came together and they started clearing areas where you have bush and there's a potential danger for bushfires. And they come out, it's totally volunteer because they are, as I say, trained volunteers. And that initiative is expected to take up in other communities. So this is an open call, of course, to members of the public, volunteers, people who are conscious about their community, to organize within their community, community cleanup and get community participation, rebuild that community pride, but by that time keep your community safe by protecting them from fire and so on. We had one group doing an area near to an early childhood center. You had some groups doing areas near to major roads where you had a lot of tall grass and so on. So I'm really proud of them, and I'm looking forward to the program expanding.
Well, I know we spoke about two of your initiatives, but as a final question to you, what can we look forward to from the ministry this coming year over the next few months?
Well, certainly, as I say, one of our key things is to manage, in terms of managed debt. We also have under us the Rural Development Company. The RDC is a special purpose company that is designed to do infrastructural projects, major infrastructural projects. We met that company in debt, and while we work to settle the debt, we are also working on funding for future projects. So we have already started our first batch of projects visiting. They are doing the estimates and so on for those projects, and we have selected some very critical ones. For instance, those people from Princestown know what's happening at the Robert Village Hindu School, where the roadway has been caving away for a while, and there are over 200 students there, a lot of residents. That landslip is one of the projects we have targeted. We have one in the Rio Claro, Ecclesville area. We have several on our agenda. The thing is, though, that while we have what we have funding to do, we will do now. But the state of neglect for infrastructure in this country is tremendous. There are landslips that have been taking place for 8-9 years that have not been attended to. So the condition of some of these roads are very deplorable. So in collaboration with the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Agriculture, we will be collaborating to go out and do, for instance, road patching and road repair. But as I say, the level of neglect in my own constituency, you have areas where we have been begging for simple repair work to be done that has fallen on deaf ears in the past. So it is a tremendous task, but we are working head on to that. Of course, we continue with our flood mitigation. At the ministry, we launched that when we came into government, and that allows us to target the areas that are flood prone and clear all the water courses ahead of time. In addition to just clearing drains, the Ministry of Works, the Drainage Division, has also been doing works in building up river banks, installing and repairing floodgates, making sure that pumps are functional, because some of these areas are very low-lying, and those banks protect the communities. So I have seen tremendous progress, and I think it's because over the time, our UNC representatives have really been in the trenches with the people. We see the flood firsthand. Our Prime Minister, as leader of opposition, used to be out there in her boots with us, and I think because of that, we have that appreciation of the human impact that these floods have, and therefore that incentivizes us to correct it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadija Amin, on Trinidad and Tobago Today. When we come back, we always have more for you right here on TTT.
Remember a long time when adults leaving children home to go fetch was normal? So many things could have gone wrong, and there's nothing normal about that. For Carnival 2026, our children's safety comes first. Choose to get a responsible adult or babysitter, and if you can't, stay home. Stop playing ting. This is a safety thing. I'm your girl Nandi, and remember, better choices, safer Carnival.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimashra. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, another hammer used to follow him to run. He used to use it to pong a pan, or sometimes a stupid man. All in the savannah, never miss an aroma.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
You get to see Carrie a little bit more. We really enjoy these little segments from him. And today, Carrie is going to tell us all about rope jab. So this one's going to be interesting. It's In Focus with Carrie Roberts on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Who carry the news? Jumbie board carry the news. Spread alim, oh lad, spread alim, bury the dead. Rope jab is a real life for us. When Carnival done, we don't say Carnival done, we say Carnival coming again because we have to prepare ourselves and do so much more.
Ronald Alfred is a third-generation whipmaster, continuing the legacy left behind by his father and grandfather before him. There's a strong tradition behind the jab, also called the rope jab, that has been passed down from his predecessors, and a rule that the practices, knowledge, spirituality, and techniques remain within the Alfred bloodline. So he continues to share this wealth with his children. But after witnessing the decline of practitioners of the art over the years, he thought he had no choice but to break the taboo to prevent it from disappearing altogether.
I was never allowed to talk to nobody outside of the circle of the bloodline. That had to remain within. Every style of whip making, every style of fighting, every style, everything we do had to remain here. But when I went along, as I mentioned Talpa, we were Princess Town, we were Grandy, you go Tamana, anywhere you go, you should see jab. And when we go in these villages, you see less and less and less. Till one day I reach in a couple of the places, and with these guys, they die. Who learn? Nobody. Nobody did it. So I tell myself, I say, boy, Ronald, boy, I can't let this thing go.
The whipmaster said this is not simply a masquerade that is portrayed for Carnival. Various preparations must be made.
40 days before the Carnival, a jabman start the ritual. So 40 days before Carnival, we start fasting. We will abstain from meat, alcohol, even the negative environment. We will stay more in the bush. We stay and prepare ourselves here before we come out and get ready for battle. We use different plants, we use different bush. Plants to toughen our body, plants to heal our body, plants we offer to the ancestors.
Even in the lead up to Carnival, special preparations are undertaken well in advance of the festival.
Sing wela jab, hey papa jab, we feeling evil jab, and we people jab, there's rope and twine jab, go make your wine. We we are very strict in the way that we prepare ourselves. When you bathe with your bush Carnival Sunday night, you cannot go juve and jump and wine with a woman. But we bathe with the bush. We men sleep away from the women. So all the fellas sleep outside in the hall or in the ground or somewhere in a mattress somewhere, and all the ladies stay inside the house wherever. So we sleep away from our wives because we want to be clean in heart and mind and everything else because you're going to battle.
Just as the body and mind must be prepared, so too must the whips. In this space, Mr. Alfred's Envision Future Jab Museum, each whip is handcrafted from scratch using fibers from nearby agave plants, locally known as lash plants.
But more the slight yellow. You see that slight yellow here?
Right.
It's more full.
Yeah, more age, so the
right, yeah, right.
fibers more.
Right. Walk out closer. Right. I scrape and I feel. I feel it to make sure I feel the way I want to feel for it. The smoothest, right? The smoothest, right? So everybody right here. So you're gonna twist him down back. Yes. Right. True. So if you want to know if your whip plait good, you will go stand up.
Yeah.
But when you crack it after you get it, but as you finish, plait it. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Now armed, one must master the rope jab. Like Kalinda, the whip is an indigenous martial art with roots in both East Indian and African traditions, due to historical cultural exchange. Though tricky to control, in skilled hands, it rarely misses its mark.
Somebody patrol coming down, who could brace the bomb they come. Somebody patrol coming down. No cannon and gun to stop me. Somebody patrol gather me. So you need to let me, let's let go. Relax it. Right, so you relax it. Good.
While surely not in the same context, I can understand the sentiment of Bob Marley's lyrics saying, "Every time I hear the crack of a whip, my blood runs cold." The deafening sound alone is enough to make one's heart go faint. The crack, as it is described, is created when the speed of the whip's tip breaks the sound barrier, causing a sonic boom. With some practice and numerous failed attempts, a little progress.
Right. So, right, good one.
Though not yet initiated, I am given the full experience and honor of donning the jab garb. I am nowhere ready to face the whipmaster, but a friendly play is an ample lesson for a novice like me.
Jab, jab.
Hey, Papa Jabla.
Jab, jab.
We feeling evil.
Jab, jab.
And we beat 10 people.
Jab, jab.
The rope and twine.
Jab, jab.
For front and behind.
Jab, jab.
Oh, yeah, yo.
Jab, jab.
Good man. Yeah, man. I'm a member from a band. Yeah. I like it.
In the words of Mr. Alfred, the traditional characters belong to the communities. While some are on the brink of extinction, there are still warriors fighting to preserve the culture. I'm Carrie Roberts, giving you a glimpse into the paradise we have right here.
But no, Carrie. I mean, you did a really good job, and I'm really, really proud of you. Thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing that with us. That's rope jab. Well, I did ask Carrie this morning if he ever entered a spelling bee competition. Did you know that I was a spelling bee champ back in my day? Well, this morning we're talking about the Mindstar National Spelling Bee and Tech Park 2026 that's being hosted by A.L. Williams Educational Services and Consultancy. This is happening April 2026 at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts, and we get to talk all about it. Joining me this morning via Zoom, Ms. Adana Leonard-Williams, the Director of A.L. Williams Educational Services and Consultancy. Hello, Adana. Good morning.
A pleasant good morning to you.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
So exciting stuff is happening, a spelling bee. Can you tell how excited I am about this? I really do love spelling bee competitions. So tell us, what is the Mindstar Spelling Bee and Tech Park, and what inspired this initiative from your institution?
Right, Mindstar Spelling Bee, this competition and also the Tech Park is to continue to build confidence in young people, public speaking skills, critical thinking, and the Tech Park is to prepare them for the future of technology, what's happening around us, because we know, Vishala, every young person in the education system will have to align themselves with digital transformation in schools and also in the workplace as they prepare themselves for this 21st century.
Adana, who can participate in this event and how do you select your participants for the spelling bee?
Right. So who can participate? The spelling bee competition is open to primary and secondary school students who can participate in it as it is approved by the Ministry of Education, and it allows these students to showcase their talents, not just memorization, but also showing their critical thinking and problem solving skills, because you know in a spelling bee competition you have to not just say the word, you have to also know the meaning of the word, the origin of the word, and also the parts of speech. So there's a lot of things going on in the competition, and the tech park aspect is to give children that interactive hands-on learning opportunity that they so desire and they so need, because every child, if they don't have access to a tablet or a laptop or even a cell phone, they either get access at school, if it's in the classroom, or to their friends, or anything like that. And we see the need of technology to fuel education successfully forward.
So let's talk about the tech part, the tech park component of this event, and how does it tie in with the spelling bee?
Right. So Tech Park is more about the innovative aspect. As I said, we look at the 21st century aspects of problem solving and also interactive learning. Interactive learning is very powerful, Vishala. It is so powerful that it encourages young people to want to learn. If we all know in the classrooms, blackboard and whiteboard doesn't inspire students anymore. They want to have that technology, even putting on a simple PowerPoint presentation via using a projector, or for some schools who are fortunate in having smart screens and smart boards, you see that it piques the interest of the students. So that tech park allows that. It also allows that students, when it comes to especially the older students, when they look at job aspects in the future, entrepreneurship, because we know that every student would not be able to have a job in the long run. So this fuels that aspect of the interest of technology to fuel more entrepreneurship and innovative thinking among young people.
So Dana, this is an interesting mesh of events, right? Or different areas. You have spelling and you have technology. Why was it important to merge these two things in one event?
Right. So, Vishala, this really happened after my scholarship in Israel. When I saw the students there interacting on a daily basis in the classroom setting with technology in their space, I recognized when I did it in my classrooms, I recognized that the students speak interests. I recognized also that the grades went up. Learning became more fun. And learning is not just you have to be overly strict as a teacher in the classroom. You want your students to be able to learn the concept at the end of the day, to be able to explain to you that okay, this is the concept, miss, and I understand what it is. And I recognize that with the introduction of the use of technology, that enhance the learning opportunities of the students. So this is why I integrated it into the technology, into the Mindstar Spelling Bee competition.
Adana, I'm loving this. Really, really. What impact has the Mindstar initiative had so far? Or what impact do you hope that it will have going forward?
Well, Vishala, it is not a hope. It has been tested and proven, right? So this is our 5th year. And every year we go about, we improve ourselves because we strive for excellence at A.L. Williams. And as you know, it was officially done at SAPA in the August vacation, and also in Tobago on then with all their schools being invited. And we saw not just enthusiasm. We saw that zeal that the children that they showed at these events. You know, the tech park, it just blew their mind away. Even the parents who were there at supper, they said, Miss, this is so fantastic. So yes, after the children have completed being on stage, having that spelling bee opportunity, they come outside to that world that they'll so love and venture in. So it enhances not the experience to be a memorable one in integrating that tech park aspect. So
I know you've had a lot of support from Trinidad and Tobago sponsors, corporates, all of that to get this off the ground. Can you briefly, just tell us about the support you've had, the assistance you've had in getting this off the ground?
Right, as you know, teamwork makes the dream work. So my team is comprised of very competent people, such as we have University Coordinator for DPED English, Ms. Sharon Phillips. We have Ms. Edlyn Rushford. She has written 2 communication books. Those are my chief judges. And when it comes to the sponsors, I must say the support of Holiday Snacks, SM Jalil, on Bermuda's Biscuit. And I just want to state that Unit Trust has given a first prize of $5,000 in units for the secondary school winners. And these things inspire students because now you hear children, I want to get involved. They want to be able to get that opportunity to win a prize. And these sponsors make it special. They make it happen. They make the quality that you want for the competition, make it worthwhile and just something that the children would love and remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and Anna, of course, this is also this was also approved by the Ministry of Education as well. So we're always grateful for their support in all of this. Also, tell us about when this is taking place. How can we get involved? Anyone looking on right now?
Right. So, Vishala, since it's approved by the Ministry of Education, the schools, principals, / HODs have been given, they are the ones who would have to scan the code, follow the instructions, and enroll their students and register them in the Mindstar National Spelling Bee. We have a deadline date of the 23rd of February. Yes, you might say it's quite in April, but if you want to have a quality and a successful event, preparation is key. And we would like if any stakeholders, if they're teachers watching, if they're principals, if they're parents watching, and any other stakeholders, to let all schools be a part of this dynamic experience, right? So the SS3s will send the email to disperse to all the schools in the different districts of Trinidad and Tobago. And, persons can contact me. It's making rounds through social media, the flyers on 707-4650. Any principal or teacher listening, because they are the ones who will be responsible to register their schools for the upcoming event.
And Anna, final question for you. Are there any plans to expand or evolve this competition in the future?
Definitely, Vishala. Expansion has gone straight to Tobago. So we start right there, and we have given Tobago an experience that it's Tobago, it belongs to them. So they don't have to come to Trinidad, all their schools. So we have a dynamic there for Tobago. But what we're going to have this year is the winners from the Tobago leg to come to Trinidad to meet the winners, the finalists of the Mindstar Spelling Bee in Trinidad. So yes, Tobago had their first Mindstar Spelling Bee in 2025, and we bring their winners to Trinidad to make the experience even more stellar competition.
All right. Well, any closing words for students and parents, watching, maybe wanting to get involved? Encourage them to get involved because it definitely it changes the trajectory of your life, I would say. It's to some people it's just a spelling bee, but for me it was really an opportunity to learn many new words and to see things differently, and to expand your vocabulary. So what would you say to parents and students looking on, encouraging them to compete or to be a part of this or any spelling bee in general?
Yes, so what I would appeal to parents or educators at this point to get the students involved. The students take example from us as adults, may it be at school or at home. So when we push a positive mindset that, oh, the spelling bee, don't be afraid. Put your best foot forward, because you are example. You're on television, so definitely a spelling bee competition boosts your confidence. And we want to encourage all stakeholders to let the students get involved, not just the primary school students, because that's the mindset. Oh, spelling bee for primary school. But when we look to different countries, we see that the senior students are very much involved, because English language is not just for primary school. It's also something that students have to be very competent at the secondary school level. So I encourage, if any principal is watching, teacher or parents, auntie or uncles, ensure that your school, that your child or relative attends, that they register through the principal or teacher, who will just scan the code and send in their registration. Thank you, Virmala.
All right. Thank you so much, Adana, for joining us this morning. It's the 4th annual Mindstar Spelling Bee and Tech Park, and we look forward to more updates from that happening April 26th. Have a great day, Adana.
Same to you.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. It really is important that we say a special hello and thank you to our teachers who continuously impact your lives going forward. Now, English A and English B teachers really have a huge job in shaping your minds, your vocabulary. I remember my first favorite big word, I think it was gargantuan, and that really inspired me to continue learning how to spell new words, vocabulary, and even today you use a lot of those words, and spelling bee champions are ending up all in different corners of the country. So that's a little bit of inspiration for you this morning. Go pick up your thesaurus, learn some words, and tell us what you learned. Just about 3 minutes before 7 o'clock on Trinidad and Tobago Today. We've got Carrie coming up with the news at the top of the hour.
City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Talk City 91.1 is launching bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever before.
Yes, Talk City 91.1 FM.
A brand new era of talk radio is here. With voices you know, trust, and respect. Get ready for an all-new lineup of the very best in talk. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Stephen Reese, Mr. X, Derek Charbodi, Roland Stewart, Sharon Farfan, Sudath Prasad, Heavy Duty, Alex Asing, Karen Francisco, Cherry Lean Lewis, Short Pants, and more of the voices shaping the national conversation. From hard-hitting current affairs to real community issues, culture, politics, social development, and the stories that matter most to you. This is where Trinidad and Tobago comes to talk.
So I'll get right to on Talk City 91.1, where we're going to give you something new, something hot every day, Monday to Friday.
Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
We all put Panaz somewhere in the back of our head, and it's locked there forever. We didn't quite bring it to the forefront until now.
The main reason for us forming the band was to enter a competition in Trinidad called Pan Ramajé. After the 4th year winning, we pulled out of the competitive arena and tried to start spreading music overseas.
We want to actually show the audience what Trinidad and Tobago music is about.
You know, it's like we changed the perspective that people had of pan and pan players.
When we feed off of each other, the crowd actually feel that energy, and then they start to get excited, and then we start to feed off of their energy now.
I think in those moments I felt like, yes, I was living my dream.
To see the joy on the players' faces when they will perform, it will always stick in my heart.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update at 7. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. With the budget now confirmed, preparations are underway for Tobago's hosting of the 2026 National Carnival production. Allocated at a cost of $7.5 million, the event will deliver several days of festivities across Tobago East and West, much to the delight of Carnival enthusiasts. In an interview with TTT News on Monday, Tobago Festivals Commission Limited Chief Executive Officer Kern Cowan outlined the schedule of events for Tobago's National Carnival, which kicks off on Thursday with the Tobago House of Assembly Interdepartment Personality and Calypso competition.
And straight till Sunday, where you will have now medium band finals, steel band finals in Tobago at Parade Grounds. Then you have all the way to the east, we'll have the Windward Afro Queen Show. We have the Kiddies Extravaganza, Junior Extravaganza, Kiddies Parade. And then, of course, you'll have the Juve in Roxborough, Crown Point on Monday, on Carnival Monday. And then on Tuesday, you'll have Juve at Calder Hall.
This year's staging of Tobago's National Carnival will see an increase in funding, moving from last year's $5.8 million allocation.
So the budget this year is $7.5 million, and that covers more of a stakeholder focus, support to stakeholders, to support to Calypso, support to Pan. All of those are our main focus this rounds, and trying to ensure that the culture continues to be developed.
Festivities will include Monday Night Mass in Roxborough, with celebrations culminating on Tuesday with the Parade of the Bands featuring a new element, the merging of traditional and contemporary Mass. The draw today determines your position, but it does not determine your potential. These were the words of the Minister of Education, Dr. Michael Dowlath, as he encouraged finalists in the school's junior soca competition. On Monday, the 11 finalists drew for places to compete in the final round of the competition. Minister Dowlath congratulated the students and reminded them that competitions like these go beyond entertainment. He's also encouraging families, schools, and communities to render their full support to the students.
And character building. Through music and performance, our students learn confidence, teamwork, discipline, and respect. Soft skills that will serve them long after the stage lights fade. In nurturing artistic expression, we are nurturing well-rounded citizens who appreciate culture not as a spectacle, but as a living classroom.
The finals of the school's junior soca competition will be held on February 10th at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts. Defending champions Jaleesa Lazarus and Zachary Ransom, along with Zayden Darius, Kamani Hector Kalu, and Asia Marie Williams are among the finalists. In some sport now, the Trinidad and Tobago Under-17 men's football team will face Barbados in their opening CONCACAF Under-17 World Cup qualifier at the Hazley Crawford Stadium this evening at 7 p.m. Head coach Randolph Boyce is confident of his side's Group A chances, despite suffering heavy 6-0 and 6-1 defeats against Peru last week.
I think the experience was great for the boys. I don't think we could really want to use that to measure it up for this tournament. So let's go into this tournament and see how things goes. Look at our history in youth football and senior football. which countries has been stopping us from going to World Cup qualifiers? Mainly North and Central America. Not so? So until we could close the gap between those countries, I think you had the answer for the rest. So we need to close that gap. So in my opinion, those are the type of countries we need to continue be playing on a regular basis if we could, to be able to close that gap.
And that is your TTT News Update. I am Carrie Roberts. After the break, we return to Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Dempster. Remember a long time when adults used to leave the children at home to go and party, and that was considered normal? Well, there's nothing normal about that. So many things could have gone wrong. But you see, this year, 2026, our focus is to keep our children safe for Carnival. Remember, get a responsible adult or babysitter. And in that case, if you can't get either one, stay home. I say so, stay home. Better choices, safer Carnival. Sinel Dempster, say so. Calling all crew, you got the honey flow and show me what you gonna do. Boom. You must obey, the rhythm out of this world, you're jumping out of control.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, another hammer used to follow him throughout. He used to use it to pull a pan, or sometimes a stupid man. All in the savannah, never miss an aroma.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
Next, 99.1 FM, Soca Dominion, where Soca lives.
Give me a chance to wine on you, so I can win with you, and I can jam with you. Give me another chance.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimash Gras. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
Now, we love steel pan, but have you ever thought, why do we love it? What does the sound of the steel pan do to our brains? Well, this morning we're talking a little bit about that with someone very, very, very special, and also doing some groundbreaking research on the sound of the steel pan and how it actually impacts our mind. Born and raised in Trinidad, the land of the steel pan, Dr. Savitri Rampasarad's journey began not in childhood but as an adult in 1999. Undeterred by societal barriers, she pursued every avenue to master the instrument, from passing the hammer tuning courses to the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, her academic pursuit culminated in a PhD in cultural studies in 2022, driven by a singular mission: to to document the power embedded in the sound of the pan. This morning, Dr. Savitri Rampersad joins us on Trinidad and Tobago Today to talk about this groundbreaking research. Good morning, Dr. Rampersad.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. You are doing such amazing work, and as we were talking, off air, this is definitely an area that was probably not thought about. So I can't say an under-researched area. So you've really created your own little, facet of steel pan.
Well, I don't want to take all of the kudos myself. I think that on the ground, Trinidadians always knew that there was something about the pan. We have the local colloquial expressions, the pan jambi, and things like that.
Yeah.
So what I did would have been a study of the phenomena of why it is so many people would have spent their time, efforts, energy developing this instrument in face of a lot of adversity. And I would have had to go through that myself.
Yes.
When I first started playing pan, I don't know why I locked on, but I remained very dedicated from the time that I started to, of course, to this day.
Yeah. Dr. Rampersad, why are you looking at sound research particularly and not just music?
Right. So a number of times the market for music research has been very, very well documented. However, sound in itself, that's the basis of all communications. I'm speaking to you now, and my vocal cords are contracting and relaxing, and I'm producing sound. And because of how I produce that sound, you can understand what I'm saying. Similarly, everything else that we have around us, we are very bathed in sound all the time. And the sound of the instrument is what has caused it to transcend so many geographic boundaries. For instance, in 2023, when the World Steel Pan Day was declared by United Nations, I believe it was 84 countries that ratified. I took it upon myself to research the 84 countries, and the leaders of those 84 countries represented 61% of the world population. So that goes beyond the boundaries of whatever we are playing here. That is not to minimize what is being played here, but I'm saying that the steel pan on its own stands as a man-made creation that is inviting certain changes in the brain. And that's why it has spread.
Doc, let's talk a little bit about your data and the collection, your research and the process.
Right.
Did you do any physiological testing for this research?
So it's an interesting question because a number of people ask me this from the first time that I speak to them. And I think that because we are so conditioned in looking at quantitative data, that is things that people are physically measuring all of the time, I think we tend to forego the importance of the grounding of this type of research, which is qualitative. You see, if you're looking at neuroplasticity in the brain, you can't actually do statistics to figure out that. You have to ask people, how are you feeling now? How did you feel then? When you're listening to this sound that has no music or no words attached to it, how is it impacting on you? So that groundbreaking foundation that I've laid gives something, a platform for other people to build research on.
Yeah. Dr. Rampersad, I was looking at your findings and one really stood out to me.
Okay.
It says, listening to pan encourages feelings or resolutions for self-care and self-improvement.
Right.
That is a new one. I know that, there's the feeling that, there's a sweet feeling that comes from the pan, everybody is just enjoying everything. But to think about it really inspiring you to improve yourself and
Yes.
self-care, that is interesting.
So what I did is something called a semi-longitudinal study, and the listening bit that I had, I would have repeated with the same groups over a period of time 3 times. And what I was able to compare was changes in a singular person listening to the same stimuli over a period of time, as well as, of course, I did gender comparisons, age comparisons. And from the scripts that they wrote, I was able to pull out and find commonalities. So all of the findings that I've listed here really ties together common things that everyone would have said without consultation with each other. And this idea of having made resolutions for self-care was a very, very common factor. So a number of people listening, they would just be listening. And I would tell you something about the listening exercise in a while, but they would just be listening and they had to write whatever was coming to mind. And so many of them had the same idea that, you know, I really need to treat myself well. I really need to look after myself. I need to incorporate the things that would make me happy. I need to relax and, you know, diminish the stress in my life. I am going to have resolute behavioral changes. So there's a lot of things that I did not anticipate that showed itself in the findings.
Well, maybe we should replace our morning affirmations with some steel pan. Maybe that might help to get your day going. I should tell Carrie that when I talk to him. So in your book that we will talk about a little bit later on, you coined a phrase, the golden age of pan. What exactly do you mean by that?
I recently published an article in the International Journal of Carnival Arts where it was one of the first times that I mentioned it. I think right around the time of independence, when there was the support of both the government as well as Pan Trinbago, and there was a lot less distractions nationally. There was a great amount of rallying around local inventions. So during that time, you would have had so many innovations taking place. There was a program in UWI that was looking at the steel pan and doing measurements. I believe they closed off in 1976 or 78. You had a lot of you had so many people dedicating a lot of time without financial reward for the most part, but trying to build on this new instrument, and there were so many inventions taking place. I think since then it has quietened down. You don't have that proliferation of inventions taking place. So that's why I coined the phrase the golden age of pan.
Dr. Ampersad, you also spoke a bit about the pan badgeon, and
Yes.
there's an alternative story to that I want to ask you about this morning.
So I introduced that in my book, and like I said, because I'm looking at the sound effect, I drew a parallel between the behavior that was observed within the society, specifically within the pan community and the people adjacent to the pan community. And the narrative that we have is that, you know, people they were hooligans, they were badgeons, they were violent, things like that. And the pan became sanitized when Dr. Eric Williams was able to get sponsorship for the bands. So I have an alternative hypothesis which forms the basis of my research. So in 1913, The Rite of Spring by Stravinsky was premiered in a theater in Paris. And because of the sound of the composition, the intervals that were being played and the amplitude of the sound, the people in that theater started to cuff each other down and break chairs on their head, and a whole riot broke out inside the theater just because of the sound. That riot spilled out onto the streets of Paris, and it's chronicled in the Paris Gazette. So I looked at that and I thought to myself, when you have a sheet of metal, and for the first time in human history you have more than one note being tuned on that sheet of metal, and it's rudimentary tuning, and you start playing that, it's going to affect the people around. And then you move up to another design, maybe a larger drum, and you also have some sort of tuning taking place. So my alternative narration is that it wasn't necessarily that the people who for 50 years before had tambu bambu and no riots could just magically start to become such misfits within the society. Now, interestingly enough, the last major tuning change that took place in 1965 with Bertie Marshall, and I do have diagrams on that as well. Again, it's the first time that it's been documented like this. He did a major tuning change with a note, and the fifth on the side of the note, the fifth is a musical term, and the last major pan riot was 1967. So it aligns directly with the advent of the instrument, the way in which the instrument was constructed, tuned, refinements in tuning, refinements in finishes, refinements on the layout of the pan, and the diminish of the violence within the society. Because I think it is important to always recognize that the people who created the pan didn't just come from nowhere. They came to Trinidad, their ancestors came to Trinidad very skilled. In my book also, I have a table of all of the countries that Africans would have been brought to Trinidad and the instrument making skills that they had during the colonial times, the type of skills they would have been passing on to their children and their grandchildren here in Trinidad. So they didn't start from zero. They started from excellence in the first place.
Dr. Ampersad, throughout your research, at the end, were there any results that we can include in our lives? Not just, for academic purposes, but anything we can really implement?
Well, I think one of the most important things to differentiate is that you don't actually need to be able to play music to get the effect of the pan. In the same way that you don't need to be able to be, you just have to be able to be exposed to the sound. So if you were to be in front of a pan and just hit a couple notes, you would start to feel, oh, there's something going on here. You would start to realize that you're standing there much longer than you need to. And if you start to incorporate that kind of personalized interaction with the instrument, now I'm not saying that other types of interaction is necessarily less, but I'm just saying as on a personal basis, if you started to avail yourself of that sound, you would realize that you're much calmer, you would feel happier, you would have a lot less stress. There's another surprising result called entrainment, because I found mental entrainment between unrelated individuals. So it's something that can affect your whole household, even if they're not themselves playing.
Yeah. Dr. Ampersad, do you have any plans to maybe choose some other instruments and do this kind of, I know it was a lot of work, probably a lot of time and money spent on this, but any plans to take other instruments, maybe ones that we are exposed to here in Trinidad and Tobago for the future?
Well, I do actually have a comparison of the sound resonance of other instruments in the book, because I think that we need to understand that this steel pan stands unique in its construction, design, and vibrational qualities of all the other man-made instruments that has been created. So, for instance, a piano, and this is no aspersions to any other instrument, a piano is a box. It's a wooden box. There are metallic strings, it's hammered, and the sound as it moves, it dampens against the wood. Violins are also contained within the wooden structure, so there's a dampening within a violin. Trumpets, which are all metallic, has a different lengthening of the sound in the tube, but the steel pan itself creates a sound vortex. If I play a note here, that vibration goes through the open space, and it would incite new vibrations of the adjacent notes. It goes up to the rim and it comes down from the skirt, so it just vibrates all over. So in my opinion, it really stands isolated from other instruments.
Oh, that's really interesting.
But I did address resonance, because I looked at sound oncology and the way in which sound is produced, and I drew a parallel with the pan and other instruments as well.
So let's talk about your book, Steel Pan Vibrations, Unlocking the Human Mind. Is this book only good for academic readers?
Not at all. What I did is, after I did all of this research, I felt that, most academic research tends to remain isolated in a library somewhere. I undertook to rewrite it in a friendly way, so that it's very reader friendly. You don't have to be necessarily lettered to read it and understand. There is a narrative that I have put throughout the book, and I also have a personal one-on-one letter to the readers, so that and I think that anyone who reads this book, especially of course Trinidadians, when they speak about Trinidad, when they speak about pan, they would reflect the information and the knowledge very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this next finding you have here, and they're really fascinating. I just want to share this one. Steel pan vibrations have a profound impact on the human psyche, unlocking realms of imagination and fantasy. That is actually really interesting. And also, they said, social belonging. So, you know, if you are anywhere in the world and you hear the steel pan, and, you know, you just automatically, oh my God, I'm a Trini. I feel so proud to be a part of this. So it really does make sense. And when you really apply all of it, you can see it. Doc, about this book, where can people reach you to get a hold of this book?
Well, because I just got it and it's already Carnival, I'm doing something that's very uncharacteristic of me personally, and that I'm going to a number of little Carnival locations.
Okay.
So on Saturday coming, I'll be in C3, their Carnival pop-up.
Yeah.
And for the Pan Finals, I'll be in the Savannah, in the tunnel of the grandstand.
Okay.
I'm also facilitating to get deliveries done locally.
Yeah.
And I have some stock abroad so that international orders can be fulfilled.
And do you have a website or social media?
I do have a website. It's registered. It's called thepansoundeffect.com. And if you go on there, I have standardized shipping. So for Canada, Eastern United States, Western United States, and in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and locally.
So what's next for you, Dr. Ramprasad?
You know, several years ago, there was a steel pan research center that had been established here in Trinidad, but they didn't actually take off. I don't think that there was enough backing, or perhaps for whatever reason. I really would like to get involved on a much deeper level in more sound research, because just yesterday I was listening to some research that had been done in the US looking at frequency, vibrations, and the alignment with certain cellular dysfunctions that take place in the human. And over a period of 15 months, they had done thousands of sound testing. And while I was listening to it, I was thinking, if I can measure the frequency of any note that is being played and use their findings to build on, we can actually have a tangible working system that we use the pan in different applications.
That is really interesting.
I also have other ideas for pan innovations, but you know.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll continue this conversation, you know, on another time when you can join us. But thank you for sharing that with us. Groundbreaking research on the sound of the steel pan and how it actually impacts our mind. And this is her book. It is called Steel Pan Vibrations, Unlocking the Human Mind. Remember, you can head across to her website for all the information that you need. Really opening a different area of pan and showing us a different angle of it. That's what the book looks like, unlocking the human mind.
Can I say something about this excellent design that my graphic designer, when I spoke to him, I told him I wanted the pan as it evolved, but he put it into a moon cycle. And we do know that the moon has an effect on vegetation and organic life.
Yes.
And we have the full moon in the middle. Is the pan that we have come to love and accept in terms of, I did my research using the low C tenor, but of course it transcends to all the other voicing in a band. And the concentric circles are the vibrations coming off the word steel pan. But if you make a pan, you know that to sync the drum, you have to draw concentric circles as well, so that you could sync it evenly.
Wow, things we did not think about.
So kudos to my graphic designer, Ian Reed.
All right, and thank you for sharing that with us, Dr. Savitri Ramprasad. When we come back, we've got so much more on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Talk City 91.1 is launching bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever before.
Yes, Talk City 91.1 FM.
A brand new era of talk radio is here. With voices you know, trust, and respect. Get ready for an all-new lineup of the very best in talk. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Stephen Reese, Mr. X, Derek Charbodi, Roland Stewart, Sharon Farfan, Sudath Prasad, Heavy Duty, Alex Asing, Karen Francisco, Cherry-Leen Lewis, Short Pants, and more of the voices shaping the national conversation. From hard-hitting current affairs to real community issues, culture, politics, social development, and the stories that matter most to you. This is where Trinidad and Tobago comes to talk.
So I'll get right to on Talk City 91.1, where we're going to give you something new, something hot every day, Monday to Friday.
Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
Health and wellness, the core of our existence on planet Earth. Let us hear the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional medical community, scientists and climatologists. Caribbean Medical TV is geared to developing a consciousness in our people in terms of our health and lifestyle. Knowledge is a very powerful tool, and we must empower ourselves with the information to protect against chronic and other related diseases. From the impact of climate change on our health to NCDs, Season 3 of Caribbean Medical TV tackles the challenges we all face, giving our citizens hope for a better tomorrow. Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV.
Every morning begins with a story, the headlines you need, the voices you trust, the conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you, conversations that spark new ideas, stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
Next 99's one big bad virtual fest.
No trouble again. Now we back out on the road. Can we do put on me?
Soca music is a symbol of love and togetherness, a symbol of freedom to be who we are, whenever, however.
Remember, for everything you see on the show, you can follow us for these and more at TTT Live Online. If you have a story idea, a press release, or you want to collaborate with us, we'd love to hear from you. Contact us today at ttt@ttt.co.tt and be part of the conversation that's shaping our nation. Trinidad and Tobago Today. News you can trust and stories that matter. Well, we've been reminding you can catch our sister station Next 99.1 FM as they roll into a community near you with pure Carnival energy. It actually ends this week because Next 99.1 FM, we're returning to the Mecca, Marval Road, Port of Spain, for the signature event, Pavement Lime. That's this Thursday, February 5th, just one day to go. So get ready for 100% soca, 100% vibes, 100% dominance. All you have to do, grab your crew, grab your flag, and come pump with us, Team 991. If you want more details, make sure to like, love, and follow them at Next 99.1 FM. Well, yesterday at TTT, we had a really special visit from the king of soca, Machel Montano, and he's having an amazing Carnival 2026. He continues to deliver high energy, and he had a sit down with Ciudad Pasad of Talk City 91.1 FM to tell us all about it.
This album, you know, I've been working so hard every year to try to bring an album to represent, you know, where I'm at and what is happening. And this one is special because, you know, with songs like Encore with certain messages in there, and then the collaborations on this album with people like young Paris Coutain, who's up next. He is the second place winner in the Ultimate Soca Champion.
Yes.
You know, people might remember him because he was flying in the air and things. He's like a young Machel.
Yeah.
but with Michael Jackson genes, you know, they used to call me the Michael Jackson of Soca.
Right.
And then you have also Super Blue, people like Super Blue, who is still going strong, Super Blue performing. Every time I look around Super Blue in a different country, we call them and saying, but Blue boy, you're real pumping boy. You know, and then we move on to people like collaborations with people like Tano, who's one of the upcoming producers on the cutting edge. Colonel Roberts, you know, we collaborating again after such a long time. But then, you know, you have the repeat of the team, Bajan Republic, Explicit Mevon, and Perception Management with Andre Jeffers, who wrote Party, and they wrote Encore. You know, these collaborative efforts, this album is like to show people where soca is at, you know, the cusp of what it's going to. There's a lot of other, you know, Skinny Fabulous is on there representing St. Vincent and Little Natty and Thunder representing Grenada. So I tried to make an album that says and takes a snapshot of the vastness of soca right now, how it is happening.
How many songs are in the album?
Right now I think we have 12 songs on the album, and one of them is the stage mix of Encore. And there is one song on there that you will discover that hasn't been released as a single. Only in Trinidad we release all the singles before the album comes out. So we try to keep something. There's one called No Way, which is a special collaboration, one of the top producers in the world, who is actually Caribbean rooted, Trinidadian and Bajan. He produced it with like Amy Winehouse, the Fugees, Lauryn Hill, you name it, the top Super Cat, you know, Aini Kamosi. You know, he's on there with one song that we haven't released yet. And there's a special collaboration. There's a Jamaica, Trinidad, kind of Caribbean collaboration that we want people to discover when they get the album, you know?
Right now, this album is being released under the label Monk Music. Tell us more about that.
Well, Monk Music, Monk stands for Movement of Now Knowing. You know, Monk means what we know now, we didn't know then. And what we know now is what we'll use to go forward and know more. It's knowing the now. You're getting familiar with the now. The past is gone, the future may never come, but we're focusing on what is now. So we have young people like Paris Coutain on the album, who's 22 years old. We have all the different types of music. Bouillon Music is on the album, collaboration with Voice, who's one of the young upcoming writers, singers, producers, entertainers. Little Boy from Dominica, who's one of the sharpest Bouillon producers again, and singers and artists. So it is about that movement of knowing soca now. Knowing where we are now, and Monk Music is, you know, my manager Che and a lot of other young people come together we provide distribution services for most of the soca music you're hearing on the radio right now, and we also try to provide, you know, knowledge. We have a program called Sound, which we're going to make it available online, the secrets and of the industry in terms of management, in terms of production, in terms of distribution, in terms of live performance. You know, we interviewing everybody who we work with. On this album I have the great Full Blown Entertainment, who wrote most of the Machel hits in the days coming up from 2011, like Vibes Got Done and Mr. Fett and Fog and Epic, and, you know, Like a Boss, and they wrote Like Yourself, and they also wrote things like The Greatest Ben Over and songs of multiple people like Voice and Kes and Machel and Young Brother. Now they have their own song called Respectfully Yours this year. We also have collaborations with them on the album.
So the tour, the Encore tour itself, could you give some details of the tour itself?
Well, right now the tour started in Trinidad Carnival, and we did some of the major shows like CIC, QRC. We have Stink and Dirty coming up. We have Monday Madness,
Yes.
which is our big crescendo where we're going to really pull out all the stops on that day. All the soca artists that we in the
Queen's Park
Oval. Yeah, Queen's Park Oval. Big jam session. Last year was crazy, and we believe this year will be even crazier because the music is hype. We have the full Grenadian ensemble coming out. We have a lot of things happening. You know, Monday Madness, we might even do some special effects to light up the place and let people see, you know, that Carnival week starting off hot. And I think that, you know, after that we have things like Hyatt Lime happening. We have, you know, I might be popping into the Vale party. Also Thursday we're doing Tribe Ignite, which we haven't done for a minute, and it's coming back. Carnival Friday we might have something special, and then, you know, we have all these different things. I'll be in the chutney. So the tour is Trinidad Carnival itself. We also perform on the Epic Boat Cruise on Friday when the ship comes in, because these are foreigners coming to experience Carnival in a new way. And after that we're back on the road again. We are fully booked all the way till September. We have things like you know, Jamaica Carnival right after. We have Carnival in Ghana. In Ghana, when we touch Ghana, we just get called to go into Uganda and probably Sierra Leone. And, you know, this is the first time getting such calls from places in Africa like that, which is amazing. We have Barbados on the list. We have, you know, Miami, New York. We have New York in a real fancy way. New York, look out, the Monk crew coming in a different, you know, like that we haven't been seen. We've just been in Barclays Center, big, and UBS Arena, selling out these big arenas.
Have you had any further communication or any intention to do any work with this young South African starlet you met in Barbados, Tyler?
Tyler, yes. You know, Tyler wanted to come to Trinidad for Carnival. You know, this is Grammy week. She was interested in what it would look like. We tried to make it happen, you know, but we in scheduling issues. Molly, who was just shaking to the max, one of the biggest hits, and she was on top the Young Brother remix. She is, you know, we're doing some work together right now, and she's very interested in coming back for Carnival too. But it's Grammy week for everybody out there. All these things happening while we're in the midst of the pace of Carnival. We're on the ramp right now. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas to work with Tyler. She was really interested and spoke freely, and, you know, was really you know, she was excited about what the Carnival will look like and putting on her costume, but she really wanted to work on the music. She's a musician at heart.
Well, today's actually a really special day. It's someone's birthday. Well, maybe not someone, but something. I don't know. It's Elmo's birthday. So we want to say happy birthday to Elmo. If you are a huge Sesame Street fan, then you'd know it is Elmo's birthday. So happy birthday to you, Elmo. We've grown up on you. Well, when we come back, we've got Shamla Mirage with Redefining Normal right after the short break.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Missed it the first time? No worries. The next 99.1 FM One Big Bad Virtual Fete is back, bringing the music, the energy, and the moments that had everybody moving. From big performances to pure carnival spirit. This is One Rewind you'll want to be part of. It's Carnival Rewind from the TTT and Next 99.1 FM family, inviting you to line, sing along, and relive the vibes all over again. Catch it this Wednesday at 5 p.m. only on TTT, the home of Carnival.
You ever feel like it's only when you're in the middle of doing something important that is when those children just be acting out and trying to get attention? Even though we know that our children are most important to us, unless we're explicit about it, they can feel like they aren't, and they look for ways to get our attention. So make sure that they know that they are an important part of the family. Don't be afraid to say it. There's really no easier way to let them know. Spend time with them in meaningful activities that you both enjoy. Schedule it if you have to, but honor the time that you set aside for these activities. When they're talking, show them that you're listening and encourage them to share their ideas and emotions. I know the old people say that children should be seen and not heard, but I'm sure that you will agree with me that the child who feels seen and heard feels important. At the end of the day, all you can do as a parent is your best. If you found this useful, please share and like and follow our profile for more parenting tips. The letter of the day is I for important.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Redefining Normal with me, Shamla. Today, I have the legend of Extempo. He is Joseph Lavote Laplacier, Veto Laplacier, and he is the Mighty Lingo. The Mighty Lingo is known for his Extempo and his Calypso journey, and he's here, and despite being blind, he has been successful in his Extempo career, and he's here to talk all about it. So good morning, Mr. Lingo. How are you doing?
Good morning. I am fine, thank you. Blessed and highly flavored.
Nice. So take us back to the beginning. How did Joseph Laplacier become the Mighty Lingo, and when did you realize Extempo was a gift?
Okay, so it's Joseph Voto Laplacier.
Voto.
Don't blame me, blame my father for that name. So I started at School for Blind Children. We learned to play music. Some of us took it serious, a little more serious than others. And we used to be playing with the guitar, and there's another blind person that you are familiar with, Kenneth Surratt. He and I and a couple others used to be doing what we didn't know was Extempo at the time, because they didn't even have a competition, junior or senior. And eventually, well, my family was a closely knit family, so the neighbor could be either your mother or your brother, sister, your auntie or your grandmother. And we used to go house to house Christmas morning. And they used to tell me what your house looked like, how you put it away. And I had to sing on it. And then the Extempo competition came in. I was very shy. You might not believe that. So in the early days, they keep telling me that you could enter the competition and maybe one day you could beat Gypsy. Well, I beat everybody else before I beat Gypsy. But because he was in government, so he wasn't in the competition. And when he came back, I was the first person that beat him. One of the things that kept me going is the fact that the disabled people didn't have a voice on that stage. So regardless of what the results came out to be. I had to
You
stick to it.
represented.
Yeah, because even though I might be despondent, it is I was doing it for we, not for me.
Exactly. So, what was your experience entering the Extempo and Calypso arena with being blind in those early days? And what was your biggest challenge? And how did you push through?
I think the biggest challenge on and off stage is acceptance. And a lot of people see my disability before they see me. And I had to fight hard to get that level of acceptance. It's still a little difficult, but I have become a household name in this country. I can't walk the streets in peace anymore. People always call my fans, always call friends, fans, and enemies all call out to me because you have the detractors still trying to make nonsense out of sense. I can't say sense out of nonsense.
Mm-hmm. And how did you push through those early challenges?
Well, it's called having the testicular fortitude to stand up and be counted. I have the only time I have not performed in an extempo prelims ever since I started is when I was defending, right? Because you don't have to perform to qualify. You're already there in the finals. But I always made it my business to be there. And that just my presence on and off stage says a lot.
Consistency and resiliency. So,
Yes.
at what moment, it's been years that you've been in this, right? At what moment did you really feel accepted, not just as a performer, but a person living as a blind individual?
2007, actually, no, it was 2005, 2004, sorry. I I thought I did exceptionally well and deserved my space in the finals and didn't get in. And the crowd got up and walked out the show.
Oh.
And some of the Calypsonians who were around me were saying, not even the Great Sparrow. People have ever done that for. And that said a lot for me. And, walking the streets and people were saying, we don't care what the judges say, you are still our king. So I had to continue because of the love I was getting from, as I say, John Public. It just got better in 2007 when I actually won the crown. That was a defining moment for me.
So this year, 2026, what's in store? What do we expect of you?
Well, expect me to win the crown again. I'm in the finals this year. The finals is Tuesday night at Napa. Um, I don't know if most likely TTT will be ringing it. So if your TV didn't spoil because I'm on it this morning, they're going to spoil next week. So you can watch out for it or come to the show.
Before I know we're going to close off with an extemporary rendition, what advice would you give young persons who want to enter, the art form in any form of fashion in the carnival arena?
Believe in yourself. Confidence is everything. If you don't have the confidence, try and build it. You need to get into it to know. It's only when you're in it you will know the how difficult it is or how easy based on how you can adapt. If you want to do entertainment, read a lot, especially extempo, read a lot so you'll be on point with whatever topic they give you.
Just be aware. So, Mighty Lingo, I know we're going to close off. So let me take my exit while you do the closing off. And it will be an honor for you to do an extemporary rendition. So, guys, with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Redefining Normal. And I leave you with an extemporary rendition by the Mighty Lingo.
As we go it live on TTT, Shamila, you didn't give no topic to me. You asked me to sing an extempo just before we go. But this is what I want you to understand. Extempo is a thing you don't plan. And I'm telling you, I don't want to make bacchanal, but I want to wish everyone a happy carnival.
Nice. Take care, everyone.
Shamla Miraj with Redefining Normal, ending the show, almost the end of the show, on a good note. The Mighty Lingo joining us as well on Trinidad and Tobago today. What a great show we had. Of course, we always do that for you every single day, Monday to Friday. We do it from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Remember, you can check us out on all our social media channels, TTT Live online, and also we are on TNT Show today. So if you see anything here that you like, anything that you want to share with your family members, your friends, it is always going to be on our social media pages for you as well. This morning we heard from the Honorable Minister Khadija Amin. We also spoke a little bit about steel pan. How does steel pan affect your mind? Did you ever think about that? We love steel pan. We love it, of course. If you went to pan this weekend, you know that sweet feeling you get from the pan. But did you know why that really affects or impacts your mind? We spoke with Dr. Savitri Rampasad today on the show. We also spoke about a spelling bee taking place. It's the Mindstar National Spelling Bee and Tech Park as well. And this week we get ready for the pavement lime pump. We are right here on Maraval Road. Well, this is where I say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. Carrie comes up next with the major network news at 8 a.m. We do this again tomorrow on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Bye.
Well, yo, this is your boy Ricky J. You ever late for the fete so you mash down on the X? Speeding come like normal until you realize how fast things can go wrong. So this carnival, we on a slower scene. Choose to slow down and obey the speed limit. Better choices, safer carnival. I, Ricky J, say so. Don't spoil my name, don't spoil my name. Son, I'm telling you plain. Don't spoil my name, don't spoil my name. I'm telling you again and again. I'm telling you again and again. This carnival, slow down.
Don't spoil my name. Son, I'm telling you plain. Don't spoil my name, don't spoil my name.
Next, 99.1 FM, Soca Dominion, where Soca lives.
Give me a chance to wine on you, so I can win with you, and I can jam with you. Give me another chance.
Next 99's one big bad virtual fest.
Look trouble again, now we back out on the road. Can we do put on me?
forever.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, and another hammer used to follow him to run. He used to use it to pull a pan, or sometimes a stupid man. All in Savannah, never miss an aroma.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
It's that time of the year again, my friends. Feel it in the air. Football, football, football. It's back and everyone's locked in. This is Richard Torpedo Thompson and my Trinidad and Tobago people. I'll stay this straight. Fans make the game. Cheers, chants, passion. That's the heartbeat of football. There's only one 12th man that really brings the energy. That's Andre Errol Batiste on TTT. Every Thursday on TTT. Don't miss it.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning, this is your TTT News update at 8. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. The Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government continues to strengthen its efforts to serve communities nationwide. Minister Khadija Amin revealed more about a new initiative in Trinidad and Tobago aimed at directly employing workers for the maintenance of public spaces.
Cabinet agreed that we will draw down on that money because this project creates employment. It adds to the capacity of the regional corporations to maintain public spaces, which may have been done by other entities before. Corporations have a legal responsibility when it comes to public spaces and public facilities like recreation grounds and so on.
The minister said that in preparation for the upcoming Carnival season, she has been working closely with the country's regional corporations and other stakeholders. These efforts are aimed at keeping Carnival venues clean, as well as maintaining beaches and other popular sites frequented by those not participating in the festivities.
I met with every single corporation. We went through their plan. In fact, some of them, when they asked for certain resources based on my knowledge of the type of activities they had, we increased the number of employees that they requested to accommodate, for instance, the camping that they didn't take into consideration or other activities they were not aware of. So I met with every single corporation and we put those things in place, and their workers have now been assigned to the corporation for them to administrate and manage.
The minister said that they are working to ensure that the program continues to be results-driven, focusing on providing decent wages and ensuring tangible, measurable work. Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Senator Anil Roberts, has expressed strong displeasure over the Senate's failure to support the Zones of Special Operations bill. Speaking as a guest on The Ground Report on Talk City 91.1 FM on Tuesday morning, Senator Roberts criticized the outcome of the debate, placing particular blame on the independent senators who voted against the proposed legislation. The minister noted that 8 of the 9 independent senators opposed the bill, which required a 3/5 majority in the Senate in order to be passed, ultimately resulting in its defeat. In other news, the International Blue Carbon and Wetlands Conference 2026, held in Port of Spain on Monday, brought together global experts, policymakers, and environmental activists to advance action on protecting wetlands and regional ecosystems. Coastal wetlands, mangroves, seagrasses, tidal marshes, commonly known as blue carbon ecosystems, are among the planet's most powerful carbon sinks, storing carbon 10 times more efficiently than terrestrial forests. These healthy wetlands are not just an environmental asset, but are essential in economic and climate resilience, underpinning global livelihoods, protection from storms, surges, and coastal erosion. British High Commissioner John Dean noted that since 2019, the severely underfunded Blue Carbon Initiative has prompted regional experts, communities, and officials to expand the protection, restoration, and sustainable management of blue carbon ecosystems across the region.
SDG 14 is one of the least funded of the UN SDGs, with the latest estimates suggesting we need around $150 billion more annually going towards this target to ensure we can protect ocean environments and support coastal communities globally.
Mr. Dean said the core reason ocean development is not getting the finance needed is the lack of reliable data available for the marine ecosystems.
Through monitoring, reporting and verification, or MRV systems, like the ones being developed through the Blue Carbon Fund by our partners at the University of West Indies, we will be able to do just that. We'll also be able to help countries in the Caribbean and Latin America to establish and meet the targets set out in their nationally determined contributions.
The theme for the International Blue Carbon and Wetlands Conference 2026 was Anchored in Action, Standardizing and Advancing Blue Carbon Solutions, sought to advance blue carbon policy. In some sport now, the Trinidad and Tobago Under-17 men's football team will face Barbados in their opening CONCACAF Under-17 World Cup qualifier at the Hazley Crawford Stadium this evening at 7 p.m. Head coach Randolph Boyce is confident of his side's Group A chances despite suffering heavy 6-0 and 6-1 defeats against Peru last week.
I think the experience was great for the boys. I don't think we could really want to use that to measure it up for this tournament. So let's go into this tournament and see how things goes. Look at our history in youth football and senior football. Which countries has been stopping us from going to World Cup qualifiers? Mainly North and Central America. Not so? So until we could close the gap between those countries, I think you had the answer for the rest. So we need to close that gap. So in my opinion, those are the type of countries we need to continue be playing on a regular basis if we could, to be able to close that gap.
And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
White man. That is so near and dear to my heart, having been